It's getting hot. It's getting hot in here, so hot, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot, I'm gonna take my clothes off. Nope. It's not that kind of show. So we're back. I'm really excited for this video because PLOUISE is somebody that I admire a lot. I admire her style. Her style inspires me. You know, the style that her makeup artists have that work under her and stuff like that. Like that UK makeup style is just, it speaks to me. It gives me life. It's just, So I was really excited when she came out with her palette. She had her base and stuff, which I also have. I have the base as well. But I was really excited when she came out with her palette, and then Belarus got the palette, so I bought the palette from Belarus. And I'm so excited. I already swatched it and like played around with it a little bit. I really didn't want to do that before I did the video. Like, I wanted to do an initial, like, first reaction kind of video. And I tried filming that, but something just did not look right, and I scrapped the entire video. And by then I had already used the palette once. So, you know, it can't be a first impressions anymore. But it's okay. So I have the palette here. PLOUISE palette. This is just the outside of it. I will say my package did come a little bit banged up. I don't know if that's just Belarus or if that was a PLOUISE thing, but it did come kind of banged up, and the package in itself, like the inside of it, on the back, it's like really, I don't know if you could see that, but it's kind of scratched up. On the inside as well, it's a little bit scratched up. When I got it, there was a little dig in charm. It's still there. There was a little dig in charm, and there was a little dig in print. Like that, just a little scrape. Like if somebody's fingernail probably just snagged it a little bit. But I mean, I don't have a problem with that personally. I never had a problem with that. That's just, you know, things happen sometimes. So yeah, I don't know if maybe that's just the packaging that's like susceptible to scratches and stuff. Cause it isn't plastic. It's like that kind of like board, I guess, cardboardy, kind of coated with something. Yeah, the only time I touched this palette was when I tried to film the first impressions, and then again yesterday. But when I filmed if I still have the video for the first impressions that I tried to do but scrapped, I'll probably show you where I said the same thing. Like as soon as I took it out of the bag, I was just looking at the packaging like, I'm sorry, what? Did y'all like play football with it or something? But it's cool, it's whatever. Like the product on the inside was fine, so I'm not mad. This is a review, so I am gonna say what I like and don't like about the palette. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be as thorough as possible so that if you're watching this because you're thinking about buying it, you'll know for sure whether you want to buy it or not, right? I didn't have a problem with any of the shadows besides like a couple of them that they just felt really rough. The pigmentation was nice, but they felt really rough. That doesn't really matter to me because I'm not rubbing my eyelid on, like I'm not applying it like this. So it being a little rough in the pan is not gonna bother me. There was only one shadow that I was really disappointed by, and that was the first one, which is the yellowy one. Let me show you. I didn't show you what the palette looks like. So this is what it looks like. Yeah, so I didn't have a problem with any of them besides this one. This one, I was really disappointed in this one. But that's okay. It's still nice. Yeah, it's still really nice. Well, the other two shadows that I said were kind of rough in the pan were these two. These two, like, just to the touch, it was just a little bit rough. But again, to me, that doesn't really matter because I'm not rubbing my eyelids onto the palette. I'm applying it with a brush, so I don't really care. Let's do some swatches real quick so that I could, like, get into the... Okay, so that I can get into the look and, you know, put it on my face. First color is PLOUISE, which is a yellow. It's like a mustardy kind of yellow. This is just one swipe. So yeah, you could see why I was just a little bit disappointed. Just a little bit. I just thought it would have been more, you know. But that's cool. That's fine. The next color we're gonna do is Sun-Kissed, which is like an orange. Bless you. Yeah, so we're just gonna do one swipe. That's not too bad at all. Next color we're gonna do Burnt, which is definitely this one, which is definitely a burnt orange. Boom. That's nice. Pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. These shadows are nice. They're much better than a Morphe, I would say. Next color we're gonna do is Latte. Nice. Next color we're gonna do is Queen. This is the one that's just it feels a little bit rough to the touch, but it is super pigmented. Right, so that's Queen, and the last color on that row is Slay, which is like a champagne-y kind of. Yeah, it's kind of champagne. Oh, it's just a little bit pink. And it's kind of hard to mess up a shimmer shadow. You know, that's nice. Matte shadows are much harder to make. And you could open almost any palette and the shimmer shadow that's in it, it's gonna be pretty okay. It's gonna be pretty decent. So now we're gonna go on to the next, like the bottom piece. So we're gonna start with Charm. Charm is just a white shadow. So I didn't really expect much from Charm because it's just a white shadow, but it was pretty good for a white. It's actually pretty good. Next shade is Trippin', which is like a kind of taupe shade. Probably swatching over my pineapple was a bad idea, but that's pretty okay. It's a nice transition shade, I guess, for lighter skin. Next color is Bestie, which is one of my favorites because it swatches so nicely. It's so pigmented. Next color is Contour, which is kind of like a purpley burgundy, I guess. We have Martini, which is this one is remember I was saying that a couple of them are kind of rough. Yeah, Martini is one of the rough ones, but it's pretty pigmented as well, just like Queen. Rough, but it still gets the job done. Lastly, we have Prin, which is the diamond shade. The diamond shadow, which is like a silvery kind of. No, let me just put it back here. So that's Prin. Alright, it has a nice big mirror at the top here, which is nice. I like when palettes have this space on top and they use the space with like putting a mirror. I really wish that there was more colors in this palette, but I assume, like I'm trying to see her vision, so I assume that maybe she might be coming out with more palettes that might have like different themes. So this one is pretty like warm toned. Have a couple cool shades in there, but it's relatively warm, more reds and oranges and stuff. Well, I knew the colors that were gonna be in the palette before I bought the palette, but I kind of wish that she put a black in here because I feel like she would make a pretty banging black. PLOUISE knows her makeup, right? She really knows her stuff, so I feel like she might have made a really good black, and I feel like it would have been nice to have a black in this palette, but I don't know. So I'm gonna use this palette. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go do one eye and I'll come back and do the other eye on camera for you. I'll be right back.
One eternity later.
So this is what I ended up with. It's very P. Louise inspired. I'm pretty sure I probably saw her do a look like this before on somebody. So it might just classify as a recreation. I'm not sure though. But I'll still put her link in the description and stuff. You know, you need to give credit to whom credit is due. So yes, this is a very P. Louise inspired look. So now we're just gonna do the other side. The only color that I didn't use from the palette was the blue, which is a loose pigment that we'll talk about later. But everything else, it was from the palette. And I'm just gonna fill in my eyebrows real quick. Very lightly. I'm not gonna fill too much. I'm not gonna like block it in. I'm just like whatever is missing in on the ends here, I'm just adding that in.
Yo, Black Master.
I'm using the P. Louise base, so I'm gonna take that and a tiny little concealer brush. This is just a cheap rando little concealer brush, just flat, just as flat as you could possibly get it, flat and tiny. And I'm gonna use that to apply the base right under my brow and then all over my lid and just pat it in so that it's nice and smooth. I'm not gonna use this tiny little thing to pat it in, of course. I'm gonna use same cheapy, no name, just whatever, but it's just a bigger size, just to pat it in.
Ain't no game time, not messing around with your heart. I won't hit and run. Give me a chance, I'll show you better, baby. Know that I can. I'll be the man that you deserve. I'm here to show you what you want. Girl, you the baddest on this earth. And you know it shows when you come around at very moment. You told me come through, girl, I hit the ground.
Right, so I'm gonna color my entire lid with this color here, which is Bestie. And I'm using this small, relatively fluffy but really tiny, almost pencil-ish, it's tapered, blending brush. I don't know how else to describe it. This is the Morphe M506. Oh wait, hold on. Before we do that, backtrack. I have to apply the tape. I always forget about the tape. Right, so then we're just gonna go back to applying Bestie all over the lid.
Yo, Black Master.
The thing with this base is it's kind of tacky. So instead of like going back and forth, you just want to kind of gently tap the shadow into place.
I'll be over there in 1 minute.
So now I'm gonna take this brush right here. It's this is the Morphe E17. I'm gonna go into contour, and that I'm just gonna use to soften out the edges of Bestie.
I got you, no question about it. You asking, you shall receive. Ain't no game time, not messing around with your heart. I won't hit and run. Give me.
We're gonna take this pretty fluffy brush. This is the Morphe M573, and the color Martini, which is this one here. And that I'm just gonna barely touch my skin and do tiny little circular motions just to start blending out contour. I'm gonna take this brush. This is, it's just a small blending brush, long bristles. This is the M514. I'm gonna go into the shade P. Louise, and I'm just gonna start like just to kind of lighten up that martini that we put there because I feel like I went a little bit heavy with the martini.
Driving, I was leaving the club. Shawty said she had a bad day and she needed a hug.
I'm gonna take this really fluffy brush. This is the M513. I'm gonna take what do you call this? A foundation powder. I'm gonna take a foundation powder and mix it with the shade Trippin', which is this one here, and just very lightly on the outside, ever so slight, just kind of start touching that the highest point of the brow bone there.
Girl, you the baddest on this earth, and you know it shows when you come around at very moment. You told me come through, girl, I hit the ground and
now I'm just gonna tap ever so slightly into Sunkissed. This is the same brush that we use with the PLOUISE color to kind of lighten up the martini, and that's just to lightly go over martini, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, just a tiny bit. I'm gonna take some of this PLOUISE base again, just a tiny bit, and I'm just gonna cut the crease. I'm not gonna worry too much about it being like super duper sharp because again I am gonna blend it back out.
Black Massa, James Miller. Driving, I was leaving.
So I'm gonna go back in with the brush that I use for the contour, which is this one, the E17, and I'm gonna go back in with contour just to blend this out. Just a tiny bit, like it doesn't need to be too blended, just a tiny bit. We just don't want it to be like an extremely harsh line, that's all.
I got you no question about it.
I'm gonna take a glitter adhesive. This is the Ambrosia Cosmetics glitter adhesive. I like this one because it's not super tacky and it's not super heavy. It's really lightweight. I'm gonna use a flat concealer brush just to pat it on to my lid. Well, that's kind of tacky. I'm gonna use my finger and just pat on some of this pigment. This pigment is the Sacha Pure Blue Shimmer. I will put it in the description box. You see that, like that there? That's okay, we're gonna use shadow to dust it off afterwards, so that's fine.
I'm on the way, you know I wouldn't lie to you. What I'm trying to say is that
I think cut creases like this these are so easy to do because it's like, okay, if I mess up a little bit, it's not an exact cut crease, so you see we just kind of brush that away. I'm gonna go in with this brush and Bestie, which was the darkest color that we used. I'm just gonna slightly put that back on the corner, and then I'm gonna take Martini and blend a mix of Martini and contour and just blend the rest of it ever so lightly, just because I don't want to like interrupt the blue too much. I'm just gonna use this chocolate liner because I really didn't want to use black. This is the Ruby Kisses Liquid Genius in the shade, oh, dark chocolate. I was just saying it's a chocolate liner because it's brown, but right, it's in the shade dark chocolate.
Know that I can, I'll be the man that you deserve. I'm here to show you what you want.
So I'm just gonna apply a little bit of that base onto my lower lash, and then I have to hold on the tape because it's starting to lift in the corner there, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. The same little fluffy brush that we use for Bestie, that's the darkest shade, and I'm just gonna
tell me how your day went. You wanna be a
Okay, so this is the Morphe M432. So this is what a smudge brush looks like. It's flat. So I'm gonna take that in Bestie and just get that nice and close to my lash line. I'm gonna take this brush and contour, which is the burgundy kind of purpley color, and just run that under. It doesn't matter, like it's gonna be a little bit messy now, but that's okay because I'm gonna go back in with a wipe and make sure that all of it is just crisp and clean. And then when I apply my foundation and stuff, I'll come back and just smoke it out a little bit more just to make sure that it's like fading out into my skin and not just like a harsh line. Cool, so I'm just gonna apply my lashes now. Yeah, I did add my lashes before doing everything else just because I wanted to see what it looked like. And I want y'all to see what it looks like with the both lashes on. This is Lilly Lashes Mykonos. Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna use this really teeny tiny brush. So little. It's so cute. This is the 213, so you could just use any tiny little brush. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be flat or anything. It's just once you could get into your brow bone, then it's lit. And I'm gonna use Silly, which is this color right here. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of Silly on the very high point of my brow bone. Cool. I'm gonna do my foundation and stuff real quick and I'll be right back, okay? I just want to finish up my under eyes real quick and then I'll finish the rest of my face, like blush and highlighter and stuff and lips and things. But so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little bit of powder just like directly under my eyes. I'm not gonna put too much, and I'm not gonna put too much, and I want to work quickly because I don't want this powder, I don't want to give this powder the chance to sink in and start to get cakey on my face, right? This is just to ensure that we don't get any fallout when we smoking on the bottom lash. I'm gonna use this brush. This is the brush that we use in the color contour, so that's this color here. I'm just gonna use that contour color again and just run that along. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. Run that along my lower lash line. I'm gonna use this flat, fluffy Sephora brush. A little bit of burnt and martini, like a mix of the two, and just again I'm just running that along the lower lash. I'm just using this is gonna sound funny, I'm using my bags just to guide me where I'm blending. Right under the bags. It's cool. You know, if you can't conceal your bags, just put shadow on them and make them look cool, I guess. I'm gonna take this small one, the small blending brush, and I'm gonna go into PLOUISE and just further like really blend everything together. I'm just gonna take Slay, which is the shimmery one. This is the same tiny little brush that I used to highlight my brow bone, by the way. So, this is the final look. I hope you like it.
You know I wouldn't lie to you. What I'm trying to say is that I got you, no question about it. You asking, you shall receive. Ain't no games, I'm not messing around with your heart. I won't hit and run.
Okay, so I think that's enough from me. that's enough modeling from me. That's it. That's a wrap. It's a wrap. That's it. I hope it helped you decide whether you want the palette or not. I really enjoyed the palette. I like it. I love it a lot. I did state like a couple of things that I thought were wrong with it, but other than that, it's an amazing palette. It's really, really good. I'm pleased with it, and I'm pleased with the base as well. Like, even though I got a really light one, it still looks really good. Like, it doesn't look too light on me. But I mean, you have to know how to work around a really, really light base. But I know she does have like different shades on her website, so you could. Oh, we're close to 1,000 subscribers. We're so close, so close, so close, so close. So close to 1,000 subscribers in what, like 3-4 months? Wow, I'm shook. And I haven't even been consistent. Thank you. Thank you so much. Whoa, I spent so much just now. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. And thank you to the people who watch my videos. I appreciate that a lot as well, because views, subscribers, all of those things are gonna help make the dream come true. So thank you guys so much. I love you. I love all of you. I don't know what else to say. I feel really cute right now. I'm gonna go, but before I go, I'm just gonna say like, comment, share this video, subscribe please if you haven't already. If you want to, I'm not gonna force you to do anything that you don't want to do, but please, I would really appreciate it if you did. Could you all shut up? Bye. I hope this helped you. It didn't help me learn how to speak English clearly. I had the people who said all I could do was a red stripe. True, sis. True. You're right. Yeah, that's cute.
You were in love, baby. You had been creeping around on me, shit I could tell. I caught it quick, flipped on me quick as a switch like a. Still wished you well. I fell in love with a chick that I shouldn't have.